Hey there. Welcome to a deep dive, into the world of your subconscious mind. You shared this article and it's called Subconscious Mind Power, What It Is and How to Activate It. I have to say, it's a real eye-opener. We're going to unpack this together with an expert who can, help us connect the dots and understand what this all means for you.
Yeah, I'm excited to delve into this. The subconscious is often overlooked, yet it plays such a significant role in shaping our experiences.
It really does. The article starts by comparing the conscious and subconscious minds to a ship. The conscious mind is the captain, making decisions, charting the course, but the subconscious is the engine room, the powerful force driving everything forward. What are your thoughts on that analogy?
I think it's a great way to visualize the relationship between the two. What's intriguing is that this engine room is always active, even when we're sleeping. It's continuously processing information, storing memories, and influencing our perceptions even without our conscious awareness.
That's both fascinating and a bit unsettling, isn't it? It makes you wonder how much control we actually have over our thoughts and actions.
It certainly raises questions about free will and the nature of consciousness. But rather than getting lost in the philosophical debate, I think the real value lies in understanding how this subconscious activity impacts our lives.
Absolutely. And the article delves into some specific powers of the subconscious, one of which is this incredible ability to store all of our past experiences. Every memory, every emotion, every lesson learned is filed away in this vast mental archive. But how does that influence us in the present moment?
Think about it this way. Every interaction you have, every decision you make is filtered through the lens of your past. Let's say you had a negative experience with public speaking as a child. Years later, when you have to give a presentation, your subconscious might trigger feelings of anxiety drawing on that old memory. It's not a conscious choice, but rather an automatic response based on past associations.
So we're not always reacting to the present situation objectively, but through the lens of our past experiences. That's a powerful insight. It makes you realize how much our history can shape our present.
Precisely. And it highlights why understanding our subconscious is so crucial. Because if we can identify those patterns and understand where they're coming from, we can start to challenge them and create new, more empowering responses.
That makes a lot of sense. The article also mentions the subconscious mind operates automatically, almost like an autopilot. Can you elaborate on that?
Certainly. A lot of our daily activities are governed by subconscious processes. Think about driving a car. Once you've learned the skill, you don't have to consciously think about every step. Pressing the gas pedal, changing gears, checking your mirrors, it becomes automatic thanks to your subconscious mind.
That's a great example. But if we're operating on autopilot so much of the time, doesn't that mean we might be running on outdated programming? Especially when it comes to the subconscious beliefs and values the article talks about?
That's a key point. Our subconscious beliefs, whether they're positive or negative, can become self-fulfilling prophecies. For example, if you subconsciously believe you're not good at math, you might avoid challenging math courses or give up easily when faced with a difficult problem. This belief, even if it's not based in reality, can limit your potential.
So our beliefs, even the ones we might not be consciously aware of, can actually shape our reality. That's a pretty profound idea.
Absolutely. The subconscious mind doesn't judge the validity of beliefs, it simply acts on them. So if you believe you'll succeed, you're more likely to put in the effort and persevere through challenges. If you believe you'll fail, you might subconsciously sabotage your own efforts.
It makes you wonder what other beliefs we might be carrying around without even realizing it, and how those beliefs might be influencing our lives in ways we don't even recognize.
That's why it's so valuable to explore the subconscious, to bring those hidden beliefs to light and examine whether they're serving us or holding us back.
This is all so fascinating. The article also highlights the subconscious mind's role in managing emotions. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that. How does the subconscious shape our emotional responses?
Well, our emotional reactions are often rooted in past experiences stored within the subconscious. If you tend to overreact to criticism, for instance, it might be because your subconscious associates criticism with a past experience of rejection or humiliation.
So instead of reacting to the present situation, we're reacting to a subconscious trigger based on an old emotional wound.
Exactly. And the key is to become aware of these patterns, to understand the underlying beliefs and experiences that are driving our emotional responses.
Because once we have that awareness, we can start to choose different responses.
Precisely. By recognizing the subconscious patterns, we gain a greater sense of agency and the ability to manage our emotions more effectively.
This is all incredibly insightful, and I'm sure our listener is eager to hear about those techniques for activating the subconscious and actually putting this knowledge into practice. But before we dive into that, I'd love to hear your perspective on another power the article mentions, the subconscious's ability to drive motivation. How does that work?
Well, our deepest desires and passions often reside within the subconscious mind. Tapping into those desires can unlock an incredible source of motivation. It's not about forcing ourselves to do things we think we should do, but rather aligning our actions with our core values and aspirations.
That makes a lot of sense. If we can align our actions with our deepest desires, the things that truly light us up, it seems like motivation would flow naturally, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and that's when we're most likely to achieve true fulfillment and success.
This aligns with what the article says about the subconscious processing information at a rapid rate, right? Like it's able to make connections and see patterns that our conscious mind might miss.
Exactly. The subconscious is constantly taking in information and making lightning-fast calculations. This rapid processing is often what we experience as intuition or gut feelings. It's that sense of knowing something without being able to explain why.
So trusting our intuition is really about trusting the wisdom of our subconscious mind.
In many ways, yes. Of course, it's important to balance intuition with logic and critical thinking. But often those gut feelings are based on a wealth of subconscious knowledge and experience.
This is all so incredibly insightful, and I feel like we've only just scratched the surface. The article also mentions the subconscious influencing our health and well-being. That's a whole other area to explore.
Indeed. The mind-body connection is incredibly powerful, and our subconscious beliefs and emotions can have a profound impact on our physical health. But let's save that discussion for later, shall we?
I think that's a great idea. We've covered so much ground already. Let's take a moment to process this and then delve into those techniques for activating the subconscious and making positive changes.
Sounds like a plan. All right, so are you ready to dive into those techniques for harnessing the power of the subconscious?
Absolutely. The article calls this the secret of the subconscious mind, and it centers around the law of attraction. I've heard a lot about this concept, but I'm always curious to explore it further.
It's a fascinating principle and one that has generated a lot of discussion and debate. Essentially, the law of attraction suggests that our thoughts and emotions act like magnets, attracting experiences and circumstances that match their vibration.
So if we're constantly dwelling on negative thoughts and fears, we're more likely to attract negative experiences into our lives, while focusing on positive thoughts and beliefs can lead to more positive outcomes.
That's the basic premise. Our dominant thoughts and emotions create a sort of energetic blueprint that influences the reality we experience. It's not about denying negative emotions or pretending everything is perfect, but rather about becoming aware of our thought patterns and making a conscious effort to cultivate a more positive and empowering mindset.
It's like we're constantly sending out signals to the universe, and the universe is responding in kind.
That's a good way to think about it. And while it might sound a bit mystical, there's actually some scientific evidence to support the idea that our thoughts and emotions can influence our reality. For example, studies have shown that people who practice gratitude regularly tend to experience greater levels of happiness and well-being.
That makes sense. It's like we're priming our brains to focus on the positive, which then shapes our perceptions and experiences.
Exactly. And that's where the techniques for activating the subconscious come into play. They're all about intentionally programming our minds for success and happiness.
Okay, let's explore those techniques. Starting with visualization. What exactly does that involve, and how can our listener use it effectively?
Visualization is essentially creating a clear and vivid mental picture of your desired outcome, as if it's already happening. The key is to engage all your senses: sight, sound, touch, even smell and taste. Imagine yourself experiencing the desired outcome in full detail.
So if our listener wants to manifest their dream job, they should close their eyes and imagine themselves sitting in their desk, feeling confident and successful interacting with colleagues, maybe even visualizing a congratulatory email popping up on their screen.
Precisely. And the more emotionally invested they are in the visualization, the more powerful it becomes. Feel the joy, gratitude, and satisfaction as if the goal is already achieved.
That makes sense. It's about embodying the feeling of having what you desire.
Right.
Not just seeing it in your mind, but actually feeling it in your body.
Exactly. It's about aligning your energy and emotions with your desired outcome, which sends a powerful message to the subconscious mind. And it's not just about daydreaming. There's a growing body of research suggesting that visualization can actually rewire the brain, creating new neural pathways that support the desired outcome.
That's fascinating. So by repeatedly visualizing ourselves achieving a goal, we're essentially training our brains to make it happen.
In a sense, yes. Athletes, for example, use visualization extensively to enhance their performance. By mentally rehearsing their movements and visualizing themselves winning, they're not only boosting their confidence, but also strengthening the neural pathways associated with those actions.
That's a great example. Okay, let's move on to the next technique. Affirmations. How do those work to reprogram the subconscious mind?
Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly, ideally out loud with conviction and belief. They're like positive self-talk designed to replace those limiting beliefs we discussed earlier. The key is to phrase affirmations in the present tense as if the desired quality is already true.
So instead of saying, I'm not good at public speaking, our listener could affirm, I am a confident and engaging speaker.
Exactly. And it's important to repeat these affirmations consistently, ideally multiple times a day. The more we expose our subconscious minds to these positive messages, the more likely they are to take root and influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors.
It's like we're planting seeds in the garden of our minds.
That's a wonderful analogy. And just like seeds need nurturing and consistent care to grow, affirmations require repetition and belief to flourish.
That makes a lot of sense. What about meditation and relaxation? How do those practices help us access the subconscious mind?
Well, our conscious minds are often incredibly busy with thoughts, worries, and to-do lists. It's like a constant stream of mental chatter that can make it difficult to connect with the deeper wisdom of the subconscious. Meditation and relaxation techniques help us quiet that mental noise, creating space for the subconscious to emerge.
So it's about silencing the inner critic and creating a sense of inner stillness.
Exactly. And there are many different approaches to meditation and relaxation. Some people find guided meditations helpful, while others prefer mindfulness practices or deep breathing exercises. The key is to find what resonates with you and to make it a regular part of your routine.
And what about the benefits of connecting with the subconscious through these practices? What can we gain from that?
There are many potential benefits. Some people experience a greater sense of peace and clarity, while others tap into a wellspring of creativity or intuition. Meditation can also help us regulate our emotions, reduce stress, and improve our overall well-being.
That's amazing. It sounds like meditation is not just about relaxation, but also about unlocking our inner potential.
Absolutely. It's about accessing a deeper level of awareness and tapping into the wisdom and guidance that resides within us.
Okay, we've covered visualization, affirmations, and meditation and relaxation. What about the final technique the article mentions? Journaling.
Journaling is a powerful tool for connecting with the subconscious because it allows us to externalize our thoughts and emotions, bringing them into conscious awareness.
So it's like having a conversation with ourselves on paper.
Exactly. And the article suggests writing down your goals, dreams, and aspirations in detail as if you're already living them.
So it's similar to visualization, but we're putting it all down in words.
Precisely. The act of writing helps to clarify those desires and intentions, making them more concrete and tangible for the subconscious mind.
And by articulating those desires clearly, we're essentially sending a direct message to the subconscious saying, this is what I want to create.
Exactly. And the article suggests revisiting these journal entries regularly, adding to them and visualizing them coming true. It's about reinforcing those positive messages to the subconscious.
This is all incredibly insightful, and I love how the article provides practical techniques that anyone can use to start tapping into their subconscious power. What stands out to you as the most impactful technique, or are they all equally valuable?
I think they all have their own unique benefits and can work synergistically. For some people, visualization might be the most powerful tool, while others might find affirmations or journaling to be more effective. It's really about finding what resonates with you and experimenting to see what works best.
That makes sense. It's like having a toolbox full of different tools for different purposes.
Exactly. And remember, the key is consistency. None of these techniques will work overnight, but with consistent effort and belief, they can truly transform your life. But it's not just about achieving external goals. These techniques can also help us cultivate greater self-awareness, emotional resilience, and a deeper connection to our inner wisdom.
That's such a great point. It's about personal growth and transformation, not just material success.
Absolutely. It's about becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Well said. I think we've covered a lot of ground today, and I know our listener is walking away with a wealth of knowledge and practical tools to start unlocking their subconscious potential.
And I'm confident that as they continue to explore these concepts and experiment with the techniques we've discussed, they'll discover just how powerful their minds truly are. Before we move on, though, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on something. The article doesn't mention this specifically, but I'm wondering if there are any potential downsides or risks to working with the subconscious mind.
That's a great question. It's important to approach any inner work with awareness and a healthy dose of skepticism. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that as well.
One potential pitfall is that, we might unintentionally reinforce negative beliefs if we're not careful about the language we use in our affirmations or the images we focus on during visualization. It's crucial to be mindful of the thoughts and emotions we're cultivating.
So it's about being intentional and discerning with the messages we're feeding our subconscious minds.
Exactly. We don't want to inadvertently program ourselves with limiting beliefs. Another important consideration is that working with the subconscious is not a quick fix or a magic bullet. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to explore our inner landscape with honesty and compassion.
It's about embarking on a journey of self-discovery, not expecting instant results.
Precisely. And it's important to remember that the journey itself can be incredibly rewarding. As we delve deeper into the subconscious, we gain a greater understanding of ourselves, our motivations, and our potential.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's not just about reaching a destination, but about enjoying the process of exploration and growth.
Exactly. And the insights we gain along the way can be transformative.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground in this section, exploring the law of attraction and delving into those powerful techniques for activating the subconscious mind. Ready to wrap things up with a final thought for our listener?
Absolutely. I think it's time to bring it all together and leave our listener with something to ponder.
I think that's a great idea. As we wrap up this deep dive into the power of the subconscious mind, I'd love to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question, something to ponder as they continue exploring these concepts.
I love that. How about this? If you could reprogram your subconscious beliefs, what would you change? And how might that transformation impact your life?
That's a powerful question. It challenges us to think about those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back, and to envision the possibilities that open up when we rewrite those internal narratives.
Exactly. And remember, we all have the power to do so. The subconscious mind is malleable, and with consistent effort, we can reshape those beliefs and create a more fulfilling reality for ourselves.
It's inspiring to think about, isn't it? This whole deep dive has really opened my eyes to the incredible potential we all have within us.
It's been a fascinating exploration, and I hope our listener feels empowered to continue this journey of self-discovery. There's so much more to uncover about the subconscious mind, and the more we learn, the more we realize just how extraordinary we truly are.
Well said. That wraps up our deep dive for today. We encourage you to keep exploring these ideas, experiment with those techniques, and unlock your full potential.
Until next time, happy exploring.